Find the nominal output current and output resistance. Also find the minimum output voltage such that both the transistors M1 and M2 are in saturation. So we're given a reference current of 80 microamps feeding into M1, which is also mirrored onto M2 to yield I out on the right side. So we're given that the sizes of M1 has a width over length of 100 microns over 1.6 microns, and the width over length of M2 is 25 microns over 1.6 microns as well. Given that the second transistor has a smaller size, we expect the output current to be a smaller ratio of the first. Furthermore, we're given the channel length modulation lambda equals 0.075 inverse volts, and transconductance parameter Kn prime, or in other words mu NCox, equals 92 microamps per volt squared. So starting off, it's a good idea to write down the formula for a current through a MOSFET, where it equals 1/2 mu Cox W over L times VGS minus VT squared. So for a current mirror, effectively what happens is you take the ratio between I of M1 and I of M2. Doing that, we have I out equals I reference times the width over length ratios. Due to the fact that these are both NMOS devices that have the same device characteristics, we wouldn't need to include anything else from the ID equation. We're also neglecting any short channel effects, which ends up giving us I ref, which is 80 microamps, times W over L2, which is 25 mu over 1.6 micrometers, over 100 micrometers over 1.6 micrometers. You can see that we're going to get 1/4 because these are common terms, and 25 over 100 of the same unit is 1/4, which ends up giving us an output current of 20 microamps, as expected from the beginning. Now for output resistance, we can call that R out of the circuit. That will be looking in from the output terminal. And the only thing it can touch from here is the output equivalent resistance RO of M2. So I'll just call that RO2. And we know from the small signal model equation, RO equals 1 over lambda ID. 2, since that's belonging to the M2 transistor. We have enough information now to solve for this. It will become 1 over our given lambda of 0.075 inverse volts times our current of 20 microamps. And this gives us 667 kiloohms. Now for the final part, where we need to find the saturation state of M1 and M2. First, we know that the VGSs of both these devices are equal, since their gates are tied together and both sources go to ground. Secondly, a good hint for M1 is that the gate is also tied to the drain. So VDS equals VGS as well. So starting with our equation, VDS sat equals VGS minus VT. And this is what we're hoping will equal V out as the minimum voltage. So we're going to solve for VGS, in which we can rearrange the ID equation up here to give you V out should be at least the VDS sat of our VGS term, which is the square root of 2 times ID over mu n Cox W over L plus our VT minus this VT. So the VTs will cancel, and we'll get a minimum V out, now plugging in the numbers, of square root 2 times our output current of 20 microamps over our mu NC aux of 92 microamps per volt squared times our W over L, I should have specified this is of MOSFET 2, 25 microns over 1.6 microns. And this gives you a final answer of 167 millivolts as your minimum VDS needed. Or V out, they're the same thing. I hope this video helped. If it did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.